pardon, Miss Dillingham, but how do you mean off with her bird?
Oh, we have a room downstairs, or I ought to say Sarah does, which is really just a big cage for a variety of birds, I suppose. We have hundreds of the bloody things, and she likes to just stand there and watch them. Dreadfully odd.
Mind, you get one in every brood. Remember Reverend Conway?
Oh, he was an awfully queer chap. Whenever he visited us, he'd insist on seeing our servants. I could never quite understand it.
One would expect the birds to be better conversation partners.
Of course, that was before the accident.
Good riddance to bad rubbish, I say.
Well, Sarah, had better snap out of it soon. We're going to Paris in the morning.
On holiday?
No, dear. Business trip.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Yes, it's improved tremendously since the Empire took over. Of course, it took a month or two to suppress the natives, especially when we tore down that ungodly tower of theirs. They just wouldn't see the benefits of it. It improved the skyline to nowhere.
Indeed.
Catherine, get your nose out of that book. We have guests.
I do beg your pardon, Mr. and Mrs. Kensington, Mr. and Mrs. Hartwood.
Oh, not at all, my dear.
Catherine?
Jonathan.
One of my bullets killed the
We'll
American...
start at the beginning, lad.
Of course. I own a factory now, producing artillery and ammunition.
For the war effort.
It's a very fruitful business, Catherine.
Yes, demand for ammunition has never been higher. We're lucky the situation in India turns sour.
Quite. Well, it appears that it was
There's
one of
shipped
my...
all over the world, you see.
One of my bullets in the American campaign that took out the terrorist Malcolm Little.
That's brilliant, Jonathan. Well done.
And he's been doing very well at his cricket recently. Tell her about that.
Could we have some music on, Judah? I'd rather love to dance.
Oh, yes, let's dance.
I'm not
Please,
dancing.
Let's do. Oh, you never want to dance anymore.
I dance with Maggie.
Maggie?
His mistress.
Oh, you have a mistress now?
Coming on 2 years now. Yes, although I think she's getting a bit too rotund. I spoil her, I think.
And you don't mind about that?
Harold's told me I oughtn't get upset about
And
it.
you shouldn't. It's just a bit of sex.
Well, you won't let me see that young man from the race course.
I have an image to maintain, you know, woman.
What in the noise, Juliet?
Oh, not right, yes. Don't worry, my security will soon see you.
Yes, I noticed you gave me the AR-95. Good rifle, damn good. Although the old models are cheaper and just as effective. You'll pay more for a sleeker arrow.
Yes, sir, your laws aren't even made in Britain.
Well, that's nonsense. They make them in my factory.
Mother, shouldn't we be doing something?
Oh, yes, I suppose you're right.
Let's dance, please, let's do. Ah, they're gone. Shall we carry on dancing?
Catherine!
Whatever's got into her.
She's always like this during the riots. I think they upset her.
Oh, I can sympathise. They're all noisy louts, the lot of them. We'd be more inclined to listen if they were just civil about it. Isn't that right, Harold?
Well, in a way, I suppose you can't really blame them. It's in their nature to be violent sorts. But if they've been taking their necantine doses, they wouldn't even think about stepping out of line.
What do you call that one?
Emma,
Emma? I say over here. You taken your nephew?
yes, sir?
What are you thinking about?
I
Right now, what are you thinking about?
don't know, sir. Can you think, Emma? I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean, madam. You see? And that's just a small dose. If she was on as much as a manual worker, she'd practically suffocate unless we ordered her to breathe.
I hope you won't take any of this rioting nonsense at your factory, lad. If any of them takes a step out of line, you put a bullet right here. They may not think like us, but they die like us.
Oh, that reminds me. I want to show you the emerald statue that I got in our campaign in the Americas. It's in the viewing gallery. Only one left in the world, you know.
But the rest is yours.
We thought it best that way, yes. It raised the value of this one considerably.
can you feel? Like emotions?
Yes?
Sarah, it's awful. I know. Why do they do it? Well, they can't just stand by and watch their precious property being destroyed now, can they? But the workers don't have property. Oh, then. You can't think why they should be upset. I suppose I can, but why this? They know we'll protect ourselves and the rights will end in suffering. They must do. You don't approve of their being shot? I know it's silly, but it just feels wrong. Yes, that's precisely it. Feels wrong that they should be running to their slaughter, jumping on the sword. Do you not think? Do you? Why do you always come down here during the riots? My birds. It calms them for me to be here. Must be nice to have things so dependent on you. I must get ready for my trip tomorrow. Do you think they'll end before you get back? The riots. You're a smart girl, Catherine. I think you know.
Ah, you're here.
How was Paris?
Bad.
Oh, yes.
Not that one, the other one. What's that?
I say, why was it bad? Paris trip.
Ah. Well, we were going to see a fellow about sourcing some new Yugen. It's a component used in Nepentine. Only he went and got himself killed before we arrived. Terrorist activity, apparently.
It's all that time abroad. Makes a man go funny in the head.
Quite. Well, we ended up talking to his assistant, and it turns out that they didn't even have enough to fill 10% of my order. Of course, I bought it anyway. Oh, yes. But the second we were back in the air, I get told that 3 of my shipments coming in from India have been destroyed. Not stolen, mind, destroyed.
That's the war effort for you. Of course, I'm in the right business, aren't I? Armaments are where the money is at. I didn't piss away my investments in pharmaceuticals.
It's not the war. 2 of them were coming in from Europe, and the other was in bloody Dover. I'm telling you now, it's terrorists.
Listen to yourself, Judith. You're sounding ridiculous. You're not in Paris anymore. We're civilized here. And certainly don't have terrorists in Dover.
Perhaps you're right.
Of course I'm right. Get me a drink. You're just stressed. Overworked.
It's just these riots. They've never gone on this long before. And I know it sounds crazy, but I really do wonder if they're organised.
That is crazy. Oh, Judith, you need to relax. Stop thinking about work. I ought to be envious of you. You could take a holiday whenever you wanted. I haven't the time. I'm getting government contracts left, right, and centre. It's a busy thing making money.
That's why I asked you over here, actually. I was looking over the accounts, and it seemed you've not paid me for your last shipment of Nepentine.
No, it's not due until next month.
I'm sure it was due this month.
I don't think so.
The 23rd.
What?
This is your signature. You're 4 days late.
Look, Judy, I've been getting some good contracts, I have. I just need time. And I need Nepentine. You know, these politician types, it's all about doing your bit for the empire, but where does that leave me? I'm just expected to hand over 60 tanks there, 20 planes here, and that's not fair. They won't do it until it's done, you see.
You should have told me if you weren't able to pay on time.
Judith, we're friends.
Of course we are. But still, you should have at least let me know. It would have given me time to have organised an extension date. Do things the official way, you understand?
Yes.
You'll be able to make the next payment.
Yes.
And cover all the back payments. Nepentine is getting expensive.
The moment my money comes through, I'll send a cheque along. My private jet if needs be. Gold-plated. Yes, we're fighting a new Spaniards for more Nepentine. Yes, I could probably do with doubling my order. I went there. Yes. Prosperous times ahead, Judith. Where is that damnable girl with my drink?
I saw a dress you'd have loved in Paris. Elliot? Cost quite a sum though. Feeds them all for a year for the price they're asking for it. Not someone like us, mind. Maybe Emma? Sorry? Planning to go into the family business? Is that an expanded history of Nepentine that you're reading?
Oh yes, well, I find the whole thing fascinating. I used to see it as just a product before, a way Mother made money, but these writers made me want to look into it more. Did you know we're the only culture to directly inject Nepentine into the bloodstream? The Turks smoke it, and not just their workers, they all do it just for pleasure. Can you imagine? The Russians carry it around in flasks. And you know the saying, I wouldn't trade it for the Nep in China, comes from the legend that the Chinaman has Nepentine in his blood.
I know. Have you reached chapter 12 yet? It details one of the tests of that theory. They would tie down some Chinese prisoners, then cut open their chests, and then boil the heart to try and get the Nepentine into a purer form.
There wasn't any.
Of course not. But can you imagine the potential profits? They had to make absolutely sure that they weren't just approaching it the wrong way or using the wrong equipment and so on. They had to repeat it several hundred times. On men, women, children.
That's terrible.
Yes. Yes, it is. Do you know why Father died?
Of course I do. I might have been young, but you don't forget a thing like that.
Well?
He was in a car accident.
No, not how he died. Why?
What do you mean?
What happened to Father was no accident. On the day he died, he was being driven by the family chauffeur, who of course was dosed regularly on Nepentine. As the train neared the crossing at Maple Line Cross, it was travelling at some speed, and as the car approached, which it did every day, this was not unusual, and there were signals to prevent a collision. Signals was interacted specifically with Nepentine users. But on the day Father died, the signals were broken, and as the train neared the tracks, the car continued to drive. Father didn't realise at first, expecting the car to stop as usual. When he didn't, he screamed for it to do so, which it did. It came to a stop on the tracks.
The driver just stopped right there in front of a moving train.
But what else could he do? He was given an order and he obeyed it. Free-thinking human would never have made that decision. It was Nepentine. The train collided with the car and both hurtled a quarter of a mile down the track. Father was dead the moment any help could reach him. It was Nepentine, Catherine. Nepentine killed our father. I've been meeting with some like-minded people while I was in Paris. Progressives, intellectuals, people like us throughout the whole empire, even amongst the Spaniards and the Yanks, even in the Orient.
People like what, Sarah? I don't understand.
People who want change. People who want to act. I have friends I want you to meet, Catherine. Things are being set in motion.
Catherine? Ah, Miss Dillingham said you'd be down here. May I have a word? So, this is the bird room we've heard so much about, is it? I must say, I feel your sister is rather strange.
What do you want, Jonathan?
Must I have an ulterior motive to come see you? You are a shrewd one, Catherine. Father sent me, in fact. He would like to renegotiate the price of his Nepentine order.
Perhaps he should speak to my mother directly.
Yes, well, you see, he would rather like to avoid the ugly business if possible. It would be awfully rude of him to offer less, you see, especially now he's received it.
Yes, it would.
Ah. Can nothing be done, do you think?
Your father can pay what he owes.
I see. Perhaps we should keep this little conversation to ourselves.
It won't end well.
Chin up, Captain. I'm sure we'll think of something.